What's up, Winfield Middle School? This is Mr. Williams coming to you with another episode of Tuesday Tips. And I have a really simple one for you. And I know y'all are like, well, Mr. Williams, it's Wednesday. Why are you giving us Tuesday tips on a Wednesday? Well, because I forgot we had Labor Day, Monday off, and I was out of town. I was in Texas. And so, but I still have a great topic for you. And one disclaimer, one thing I want to talk to you about before we get started is, if you want to show these videos to your kids during this time before you start any of these activities, you are more than welcome to show them to them. I don't care because things I say on here, I would say to them as well. So it's not a big deal if you want to tell them or show them what I'm talking about and give them kind of an example in that way. You're more than welcome to do that. So go for it. But today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things to do. I think it's something that is so impactful that we don't realize how impactful it is at times. And so the thing we're going to talk about in our restorative circle is stories. And not just stories from the kids, but stories from you teachers, from me, from us. One of the things you will discover is that kids really do want to hear the stories about our lives and the things that we do. Because it does a couple of different things for kids. For one, it humanizes us. Because I don't know how many of you guys have experienced this, but I've had kids see me in Walmart and be like, I literally had this happen earlier this year. What are you doing here? I'm shopping. Aren't you supposed to be at school? No, I don't live at school. How many of you teachers have had that happen? How many of you kids have done that? I'm sure you have. And so I have a story that I want to share with my cell kids. My cell kids have heard of quite a few of my stories, but this is one I think I haven't told them. I don't know, I'm kind of like an old person. I forget if I told a story or not. So, but you're going to hear it here first before they hear it. And the story is about the time I beat a kid up at church. Yeah, I said that, at church. I beat a kid up at church. And I'm gonna tell you this whole story, and then, yeah, I know you're judging me right now. Don't judge me. I did beat a kid up at church, literally during the middle of the service. Neither here nor there. So let's talk about it, right? And so I was in fifth grade. I was a drummer at church. And I was playing drums, during the choir was up singing. I'm playing the drums, doing my thing. And I look over and I see my little cousin. I have a cousin that's 4 years younger than me. So he would have been, first grade, second grade at that time. And he's crying. And he's kind of a crybaby anyways, if we're being honest. But he was crying and he was bawling like big tears. And so I look over and there's this kid from this other church, like picking on him, I guess. He's picking on him. He's kind of poking him. And, I'm playing the drums and I see this and I'm like, look at him. And I point the stick at him like, no, I'm still playing the drums. And he keeps messing with my cousin. And so choir, song gets over, I finish up, get off the drums, and this dude's sitting right next to my cousin. And I just kind of went into protective cousin mode and I plopped down right between them and kind of forced them to move apart and sat right between them. And I look at the dude and I was like, hey, let's go to the back. Let's go handle this right now. Pick on somebody your own size. Okay, let's pause for a second. First off, we were not the same size. I was fifth grade. That's 10, 11. He was in 8th grade. He was 14. And he's bigger than me. But I was like, I'm taking up for my cousin. I ain't letting my cousin go out like this. And so I get up and I walk to the back of the church, like in the little fellowship hall area, and there's a bathroom back there. And I'm waiting for him. I was like, meet me in the bathroom, bro. This is about to go down. And so I go, and I'm waiting for a few minutes, and he didn't show up. And so I'm getting ready, like, man, he ain't showing. He don't want this smoke. And I start to walk out, and he walks in. As soon as I start to walk out, and just, hits me in the stomach. Hit me. I went down for a little bit. And then he started talking smack to me, blah, blah, blah. And then it happened. You know what happened, right? I gave him these skippity paps. I gave him these hands. I kind of blacked out a little bit and I had a little bit of anger problems when I was a kid. And pause for a second. Teachers, this is a really good example of when you can talk to kids about a specific emotion and how you've grown and how you've changed as a person, because I'm telling y'all. Anyways, I used to have a bad temper. Like I'd go off the handle at anybody, including adults. But this kid, I blacked out and I beat the crap out of him. And I'm like 11. I think I'm fifth grade going to 6th. I beat the crap out of him. And only reason I know anything about this fight is because I had my best friend and my little cousin that was getting picked on. They walked in the middle of it. And I ain't gonna give y'all the details because it's a little that's not PG. But I know they ended up pulling me off of him, and then had this kind of part where I kind of came to my senses, you know? And I know some of you as kids and even adults, like you had this point where you were doing something, you like, as a kid, and you're like, oh man, my mom is about to kill me. I just got in a fight at church. And so I didn't even go back into the church. I just went outside to the church van. I was like, I'm just gonna get in the van. And I couldn't get in, obviously it was locked. So I'm just standing by the van, waiting for church to end, waiting for the pastor to finish preaching and all that stuff. And I didn't go back in. And so my mom walks out. She comes out of church, and I see the boy, he ain't a little boy, but the boy, and he goes over his mom, he crying, he got busted lip, black eye, and he just points right at me. And my mom's standing next to me, and him and his mom come over, and she mad, she grabbing him by the arm, and she walks up to my mom and said, your son beat up my son. And my mom turned, you know how your mom turned like, what? She turned and she said, what you do? Tell me. And you know, it was like it's insta tears is what I call it. Insta tears is what happened. I instantly started crying because I knew I was about to die. And I told her, I said, Mom, man, he was picking on, I was playing drums, he was picking on PJ, he kept calling him fat and pushing his stomach, and then I sat down between them, and then he was talking smack, and I was like, meet me in the back, I'm gonna protect my cousin. And so I went in the back, he punched me in the stomach, and then I don't remember what happened after that. So I really don't remember what happened. So I feel like I shouldn't have been to blame for it. And then his mom said, you did what? You was picking on a little kid? And then she smacked him in the back of the head, bam! He's like, that's what you get. And so that was the end of it. I'm here today as a teacher, and so you know my mom didn't kill me. She just said to me, however, there's a better way you could have handled that. But I appreciate you for sticking up for your cousin. The most important part of that is that I could have handled it differently. I probably could have got the help from any adult that was in there, cousin sitting there crying, anybody to be able to see it. I think some people in the choir probably saw him picking on my cousin. And so that was an opportunity where I could have handled things differently, but I've grown a lot. Had a lot of bad temper stuff going on, some anger management classes that took place after that, and I was good. I'm a better person now. And so that's my story. That's all I got. But I think it's really, really, really important for us as teachers to tell stories, to tell about the times we fell short. And not only as teachers, but even as parents. Like, they need to know that we aren't perfect, as perfect as we seem to be. And so that's my 2 cents. That's my Tuesday tip for today is tell your kids stories. Let them hear your story. Let them hear how you failed. Let them hear how you did great as well. You know, they want to hear about your life. You guys have an awesome, awesome, awesome week. And sorry this is late, but it be like that sometimes. I'm gonna try to get the next one out on time. All right. Peace. Have a good one.